And Western history up close and personal, because this is very up close and personal to our particular area. We are a Western town, so let's kick off with history because that's already fun. We're going to talk about the past. Fred Vail, Charlotte Hall Museum Executive Director, great to have you on with us.
Why, thank you very much. 14 years in running.
14 years, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, and I do remember when the symposium started. Why? Why have a Western History Symposium, Fred?
Because we're a Western town. It's a simple answer to that. But no, this is a project that we started, as I said, 14 years ago. When I was with the Westerners, I wasn't even associated with the Charlotte Hall Museum.
But you're an author, a historian yourself.
I've done all of that stuff, yes.
Right.
But I met with Richard Sims, who was the director, and we decided that this would be a good project to collaborate on. So the Charlotte Hall Museum and the Prescott Corral of the Westerners have been co-sponsoring this event for the last 14 years.
Well, and historians come from all over, and they present different topics.
Oh, we do. We've had them from all over the country. This year, they're from Mississippi, from Kansas, and some local homegrown talent as well.
Fabulous. And these are free presentations, like 6 of them, or something?
Well, yes, there are 5 of them during the day, and they're held at the Centennial Center, the Prescott Centennial Center.
Tell us, where is the Prescott Centennial Center?
Well, the best way to say is out near the between the golf course and the airport.
Right.
It's the old clubhouse. Yes.
Right.
The old clubhouse. It's been redone by the city into a very fine event center.
And this is coming up August 5th.
August 5th. It starts at 9:30 in the morning. The day programs will end at 4 o'clock. And then we'll take a break. There will be the Westerners will have its monthly dinner in the evening.
Okay.
People are invited to attend.
Too.
And then we will have an evening program at about 7:15.
Okay, so tell me about these presentations. They're all free? Am I getting
Everything
that right?
is free except for the dinner. If you go to the dinner, you got to pay to eat.
Okay, well, doggone it.
Doggone it, right?
Yeah, so what are you going to be talking about this year, Fred?
Well, we're going to start with a little bit of the story of early history of Prescott as seen through the eyes of Margaret McCormick, who was the wife of the second territorial governor, who tragically died in the governor's mansion.
A very charming and beloved woman.
During childbirth.
Very, very sad.
But she left letters, journals, and so forth, and it gives you a perspective on what Prescott was like in the early years.
And then you have a Flagstaff guy you're going to be highlighting.
John Westerlin is going to uncover the mystery of the death of a 4-year-old in 1887, and who has been presumed dead and buried under a pile of rocks on Mount Eldon, what is Mount Eldon now.
Fascinating.
And he has some very interesting perspectives on it.
And then Native Americans, big part of our history here.
The Yavapai, just a huge part of our history. At one point in time, in the early years, they occupied 10 million acres of central Arizona, supported 4,000 natives. Of course, they're much smaller now. But they're here, they remain here, and they're an important part of our culture and
so
our economy as well. Yeah.
Right. Well, and here, the next one's kind of fascinating to me because it's about getting women on juries. Was that a little tough in Western history?
The women thought it was.
It's like, we want to do
they got, when we became a state in 1912, women had obtained the right to vote then. They could vote, but they couldn't serve on juries under the Constitution.
Until the 20th, until 1920 here.
1945, not 1920, 1945.
Well, I think it started in 20. We were slow.
You're right. The process started, but and it was the usual kind of reasons from the legislatures. One I always talk about is that women were too sensitive to sit on juries and hear those untoward events and of rape and crime and murder and that type of thing.
Dear, terrible.
Yes, and they should be home doing important work.
And being protected. From all that, stuff.
That changed the course over the course of time, and the war influenced that.
Well, and then you've got a couple more. We're running out of time, but you've got a guy who tamed Whiskey Row.
James Dodson. He was, as Brad Courtney, the author, states, that he should belong in the lore with Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson and all of those.
Dodson.
But he was our own Prescott guy, and he took care of Whiskey Row and kept the peace.
And then this one sounds good too, the voice of Geronimo.
Yeah, George Rotten. This is David Higgs is coming from Mississippi to talk on this subject. Rotten was the interpreter for Geronimo for 25 years, from the time they were in San Carlos to when they were isolated and been imprisoned in Florida and in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. But for 25 years, he was his voice.
So free presentations all that day, August 5th, and then in the evening there's a presentation of the Charlotte Hall Award.
We
and what's
will
the
do
crux of that award?
It started in the 1980s, and it's given to an Arizona woman, a living woman, who has made significant contributions to the understanding and awareness of Arizona and its history.
Nice.
And
So that's
this
gonna be...
year it's going to go to
Oh, you're going to tell us.
Nancy Kirkpatrick Wright from Prescott.
Marvelous. A friend of mine, very much into history.
Yeah.
We did Cape
So
Horry
you'll have
stuff
to
together,
come
so-
and
honor
see
her.
her receive
Absolutely.
her award.
And that's probably the dinner thing. How do people register and get all the schedules and whatever?
Well, I think
for the
the
event?
best thing to do is just go on our website, and all the information is there.
Good.
That's charlotte.org.
Yeah, we got
Or
information. on
they
the
can
screen.
call me as well.
Okay, because even though the symposium parts are free, the presentations, they still need to register and.
Well, no,
because
you can just
seating is
show up
limited.
for the
Okay.
show up for the event. There's no registration required. For dinner, you have to make a reservation
Okay.
and send in a check.
Okay, well,
and
make
that
sure you
goes
do
to the
that.
Westerners, not the Charlotte Hall Museum.
A great Western history organization in our area as well.
Yes, it
Fred
is.
Vail, 14 years, congratulations on the Western History Symposium. A lot of great topics this year, August 5th.
August
So,
5th, 9:30 to 4 o'clock during the day, and we'll have a
Dinner
break for
later?
lunch, and then dinner and another program, and
Too fun. I
things
tell you
can't
this-
things can't be any better than that.
That's right. Learn about your history. Have a lot of fun. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you very much.
Glad the Charlotte Hall Museum does this kind of stuff.